Hey, yo, I'm Trevor Lane. This is the Basketball Bulletin. Had a big night in the NBA. Some of the hottest teams in the league in action. Going to break down some of the games, not all of them, but some of the most important games from last night's slate. Make sure you subscribe right here to the Basketball Bulletin YouTube channel. Only about 20% of you right now are actually subscribed. The other 80% hit the subscribe button for us. All right, last night, let's kick things off with the Denver Nuggets taking out the Dallas Mavericks. I mean, what an insane run by the Denver Nuggets in order to win this game. They went absolutely berserk. Just look at the fourth quarter score. 33-12 was the fourth quarter score for Denver to come back. There was a point in this game when it looked like the Mavs were just cruising. They kept kicking the ball out, getting Klay Thompson open threes, and he was great. Klay finished with 25.6 boards. Looked like Klay Thompson, right? 6 of 13 from deep. But the Mavs just ran out of gas in the fourth quarter, and the Denver Nuggets absolutely crushed them. It felt like in the blink of an eye, a 20-point lead was gone. And you look at the plus minus, my goodness, the Denver bench stepping up big time. The Nuggets not known for their depth, but look at that, plus 23, plus 30, plus 13, plus 16. Aaron Gordon coming off the bench right now. Russell Westbrook, give the man his flowers. He's been great for them, especially over the last couple of months here. 21 points, 10 boards, 7 assists. Jokic did Jokic things, and the Denver Nuggets continue their push up in the Western Conference. The Mavs playing without Luka, without Kyrie, and maybe slipping a little bit here. They're the 5 seed in the West. The Nuggets moving up now to the 4 seed in the Western Conference. But pretty amazing game, crazy comeback by the Denver Nuggets. And just a reminder that in today's NBA, no lead is safe. That is a fact. No lead is safe in today's NBA because it felt like the Mavs were going to cruise to an easy victory. Did not happen. The Sacramento Kings, 7 wins in a row. My goodness, Sacramento. I tell you what, nobody in Sacramento is complaining about the firing of Mike Brown anymore because they've now won 7 in a row, picking up this win over the Chicago Bulls. In fact, they have only lost 1 game since firing Mike Brown, and that was the first game with new head coach Doug Christie against my Lakers. Since then, they have won every single game they've played. And look what Sacramento is doing. They have played the last 3 games without De'Aaron Fox. He comes back, 26-9. Malik Monk does his thing. 18 points for him, 7 of 17 shooting, just 1 of 7 from 3. Tell you the big difference, though. It's Keon Ellis. You know, we were saying this for a while. You got to play Keon Ellis more. It was a very simple thing. I think there's really two things that have been going on with the Sacramento Kings. One of them has been bad luck. Frankly, you look at their net rating, they've been much better than what their record would have suggested. But the other thing, it was Keon Ellis needs more minutes. So we take a look at this. Keon Ellis, you look at ever since Doug Christie took over, oh my goodness, this is what you want to see. If you're a Sacramento Kings fan, this is what you want to see. Doug Christie took over right before the game against the Lakers. Since then, look at this, 34 minutes a night. Now, yes, De'Aaron Fox missed a few games, so that contributed. There was a double OT game. That bumped up his minutes. But the bottom line, Keon Ellis now seeing way more minutes, more consistency than he was previously under Mike Brown, and he is a difference maker for them. He's a guy who needs to be in their rotation. So the switch to more minutes to Keon Ellis, I think that's going to help in addition to just that positive regression kicking in and then picking up some weight. Look at this. They're 9th in the NBA. 9th in the NBA in net rating. There is no reason for the Sacramento Kings to be one of the bottom teams in the Western Conference. No. They should be right in the thick of things in the playoff hunt, and that is where they're trying to get themselves right now. They're getting themselves right back into it again. 7-game win streak in the Sacramento Kings. Look at this. They're now the 9 seed in the Western Conference. They are above 500 again, and it appears that all is well now in Sacramento. But we got to talk about the Bulls. My goodness. Chicago. A change here. Now, Kobe White was out due to injury, and that meant Lonzo Ball back in the starting lineup. Certainly something worth keeping an eye on heading into the trade deadline. And look what Lonzo did in his first start of the season. 5 threes. 5 of 8 from deep for Lonzo Ball. 26 minutes, 15 points. He only scored from the 3-point line. The only concern, he struggled badly staying in front of Malik Monk. Monk got him a few times. That lateral quickness, maybe not quite where it used to be for Lonzo Ball. So maybe a little bit of concern there, but let's face it, a lot of guys struggle to stay in front of Malik Monk. Speaking of the trade deadline, Zach LaVine have a game, 36 points. I mean, effortless threes, just draining them. He hit 5 threes of his own, 10 boards, 4 assists. He was great. This is what you want if you're Chicago. I know maybe the Bulls front office actually wants to win games. They shouldn't. They should be tanking, doing everything they can to try to keep their pick. But instead, they've been trying to win games. But this is what you want to see. You compete. It's a fun game. Zach LaVine plays well. Maybe he gets more teams to look at him on the trade market. Lonzo Ball starts, hits 5 threes. Nikola Vucevic had a just fine performance against Sabonis, 18.7 boards. He's a 20-10 guy right now on the season. And you've got your trade chips all playing fairly decent minutes, all playing fairly well, and you pick up the loss. That's what the Bulls need. Lose as many games as they can right now. Try to keep that draft pick, but I don't think that's where the franchise is actually looking to head right now. All right, let's jump over to the Orlando Magic. You know, I almost didn't talk about this game just because you go, oh, okay, the 76ers, they've been kind of sliding right now, but Orlando, I just have to give this team credit. They are winning games despite being crushed by injuries. You look at Orlando, I'm starting to call them Memphis East. This season, they're just finding a way to win games despite a bunch of guys being out due to injury. No Kentavious Caldwell-Pope in this game. No Jalen Suggs for them. No Franz Wagner. Welcome back Paolo Banchero, who hit a big shot late. And get this, they lost not one, but 2 guys mid-game. Goga Bitadze, he got injured, only played 12 minutes. Tristan da Silva played 1 minute. And they still got the win over the 76ers. Why? Because what they've done all season, everybody's stepping up. Trevlin Queen steps in and has to play 31 minutes in this one and plays well. Jonathan Isaac filling in for Goga Bitadze. Look at that. 11 rebounds, 20 points for Jonathan Isaac. Let's go. Then you've got Paolo Banchero. Again, 8 boards, 6 assists, 20 points. Had an insane just bully ball dunk on Paul George. Knocked Paul George on his butt. I mean, welcome back, Paulo, for real. And then you had Cole Anthony. Cole Anthony, he was out of the rotation at one point, and now here he is dropping 27 points, 4 assists, getting into a duel with Tyrese Maxey. He was absolutely fantastic. And Anthony Black, let's look. He's had his ups and downs, but in 7 of 18 shooting, that ain't great. But 17 points, 6 boards, 6 assists, 2 steals, had a number of insanely athletic plays. This Magic team is so much fun, and it's amazing the way they are finding a way to just keep on rolling and keep on winning games in the East. You look over at the 76ers, no Joel Embiid. Yikes, that's certainly a problem. No Andre Drummond still as well, so they're without their 2 centers. That's going to be an issue, right? Paul George saying he was bored playing the center position. Well, he put up 25, 10, and 6. Tyrese Maxey put up 29, 4, and 5. Like, you can't ask for much more from those 2 guys, and it still wasn't enough to get a win with no Joel Embiid for this one. So the Philadelphia 76ers, they just continue to slide right now. You look at the Eastern Conference, you've got Orlando sitting steady in the fourth seed right now. They've got the Indiana Pacers breathing right down their necks. They're right there. We're going to talk about the Pacers in just a minute, but the Orlando Magic steady in the 4th seed, and I think they can threaten, if they can get guys healthy and maybe make a move here at the trade deadline, I think they can threaten to get right up there with the New York Knicks and battle for the 3 seed. Meanwhile, the 76ers, they've lost their last 2. They're sitting 11th in the Eastern Conference. They're 2 games back of the Chicago Bulls. And oh, what a terrible season it has been in Philly. What a nightmare of a season for them. And to add insult to injury, if the draft were to occur right now and nobody jump up in the lottery, they'd be handing the 8th pick over to, of course, a team that does not need it at all, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Ouch from the entire rest of the NBA. All right, let's talk about the other hottest team in the NBA right now. The Indiana Pacers. Indiana. Pawnee. Parks and Rec, look what's going on here. 6 wins in a row. The Pacers, they are indeed picking up the pace with their offense. They're flying up and down the court. There is some concern here, but look, they beat the Cavs. They got the win over the Cavs. Have been great this season. This is only their 5th loss of the whole season. The Cavs have been fantastic. You look what the Pacers did. The Pacers are playing great basketball right now, playing with a lot of confidence. The only concern, look what happened. Only 19 minutes for Tyrese Halliburton. Had to leave early with a hamstring strain. That is something worth keeping an eye on for sure. But Miles Turner doing his thing. 10 boards, 15 points, 18 for Pascal Siakam. Andrew Nembhard has been really good for this team. 19 points for him to lead the way in scoring. And then you look at Cleveland. I'm not worried at all about Cleveland, by the way. This is everything right here. Cleveland. This is just a bad shooting night. That's all. The Cavs had a bad shooting night. They're a high-volume three-point shooting team. They took almost half their shots from 3, and they had a bad shooting night. It happens. It happens. I'm not worried about the Cavs one bit, but they had an off night. They've been just about flawless all season, so I'm not going to worry about them. This is more about praising the Pacers. And I'll tell you what, you look at this 6-game win streak. This is not over some softball teams here. No. You look at this. They are, 7 of their last 8 they've won. And in that stretch, you've got to win over Boston, you got to win over Miami, you got to win over Phoenix, got to win over Golden State, got to win over Cleveland. Like, they're beating some quality teams. Yeah, you got Chicago in there, you got Brooklyn in there as well. I mean, those teams can give you a game on any given night, but they've got wins over quality teams too. So the Pacers starting to make that surge up, but all eyes on the hamstring of Tyrese Halliburton. Hopefully he is okay. And then let's finish things out. Big one. In the desert, the Suns at home taking on the Hornets. The Hornets just beat the Suns the other night, but this time it's the Suns who are going to get the win. A big fourth quarter for Phoenix. 27-15 was the fourth quarter score. The Suns, and I'll tell you what was most impressive about this game from the Phoenix perspective is they got it done with defense. They got it done with defense down the stretch in the fourth quarter. I can't tell you how many times the Hornets ran pick and roll, trying to get Mark Williams on the roll to the basket, and the Suns defense did a great job dropping down into the paint, cutting off that pass, and then not giving LaMelo Ball many options to go with the ball once they cut off his initial read. Really, really good stuff defensively from Phoenix. You look at the Hornets, look, LaMelo, Mark Williams, Miles Bridges, Brandon Miller, they all did their thing, just their offense sputtered in the fourth quarter, and it wasn't enough to get the win. Phoenix certainly needing wins, needing to get back on the right foot here. Mason Plumlee played 15 minutes, but guess what? He got benched at halftime in favor of Oso Ighodaro, my front office show co-host Keith Smith's favorite, Oso, and he was fantastic. Oso, number of dives to the rim, got a few dunks, a couple of them out of the dunker spot, got one coming out of the high pick and roll, did a really nice job setting screens, and then just being opportunistic with when to roll to the basket. Royce O'Neal back in action now. Had missed some time, but 9 points. He hit a big 3 late as well. Bradley Beal, 15 points coming off the bench, but still got 35 minutes. Kevin Durant did Kevin Durant things with 27, 8, and 5. Devin Booker with 30. And once again, though, the biggest thing of this game, we know the Suns can score the basketball. We know that could be a thing. It was that they got the job done on the defensive end of the floor against the Hornets to close this thing out. That is the biggest key right now for the Phoenix Suns, that they were able to look respectable there on the defensive side of the ball. No, the Hornets are not a good team, but still, you will take it if you're Phoenix, and the crowd in the desert was loud. And so now the Suns, they are back. They're in the play-in right now. They're the 10 seed in the Western Conference, and they're going to look to try to climb back up. But very fun night in the NBA. Again, there were a number of games I didn't touch upon, but we don't have time to go over them all. But those are some of the key performances by some of the hottest teams in the NBA. We do have the trade deadline coming up on February 6th. So remember, a lot of these teams are going to be trying to make moves, trying to do things that are going to put them over the top. But right now, the Pacers, the Kings, you've got the Suns playing better basketball. They're getting back on track, it feels like, and the Orlando Magic. So much fun. Really fun night in the NBA. Oh, and of course, we can't forget the Denver Nuggets. Whew. Denver, what a fourth quarter run that was from them. So really fun day in the NBA. If you guys enjoyed this breakdown, make sure that you do subscribe to the channel and let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and go check out our latest video right now.